There's a new Porsche 718 and a new Ferrari Daytona this week in the news. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Automotive News. I am your host, Primo, and today we're going to be talking about two very cool subjects. First, obviously, the Porsche 718 GT4 RS and the Ferrari continuing its Icona series with the new Daytona. This car is actually, it's going to bring back something to you 80s guys that I think we didn't really realize we needed until we saw it. But it is a big step back to kind of remember what brought Ferrari here in their history, kind of in the Daytona series. But yeah, before we do that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget the bell icon because you want more news. You got more stuff coming in. If you guys are over on Spotify, don't forget to hook up so you can continue to see some of the great stuff that we're putting out. We're going to be recording a show tomorrow for Wednesday. But yeah, check in for the Wednesday show, which is more of an overall kind of automotive feel. But yeah, that's the thing is they're both great shows. We're going to continue to have some great guests on. We're trying to expand a little bit, so we're getting into some people that are going to be more. That's something that we kept getting contacts on as we keep getting the stuff from watches. Oakley is making a great line of Ferrari glasses. Some of them are pretty out there, so if you haven't seen them, it's something that you want to take a look at. I don't know if they're trying to keep it limited to just their buyers like they are for some of their big name car brand stuff, but overall, it's some stuff that even if it's not for me, it's definitely fashionable. And the other thing that I see on kind of the Lamborghini front is Roger Dubuis is doing a lot of stuff, and Roger Dubuis does some really cool watches in general. It's kind of the watch that I'd like to use, but there's so many good ones out there that I mean, I think it just ends up running into, the car brands that they do. And that is something that watch brands, a lot of people tell me they don't get them. So I want to have some more people in that kind of can talk watches, talk other stuff. And we're going to continue to do some product reviews. I have a product review coming right up at some point here that we have something to test that you can get for yourself. So even if you don't have deep pockets out there and you're not able to spend a ton of money on something, dial in and see what's up. So yeah, so again, we're here on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we're on Apple, and we're on Google. So if you have an opportunity of those, you have any of your favorites, you can look us up and check us up there. So yeah, the first thing I want to do today, Adam Chamberlain is the new president of Aston Martin of the Americas. He comes from Mercedes-Benz, where he was the VP of Sales and Product Management. And it's a brand that really excites me. It's like Aston and Lotus and Jaguar. There's a couple of brands out there that have that kind of niche that it's a specialty kind of connoisseur-esque luxury that I really dig. And that's something I really like the idea of seeing this new lineup and seeing where it's going from. The big thing today is obviously the big two cars that we're going to talk about. And the first one is the 2023 718 Cayman GT4 RS. I have been a huge Cayman proponent from day one. Everybody has said underpowered, that kind of thing. And I think that was the big concern that we had, was we didn't think that Porsche would ever jump wholly into this Cayman thing because the Caymans were so well handling. They were exceptional vehicles, and they couldn't have something that would actually challenge their flagship vehicles. But here we go. We got the GT3 motor in the Porsche Cayman. So the stats were 493 horsepower, 9,000 RPMs with 331 foot-pound of torque. Honestly, this is everything we've ever waited for. Like I said, we didn't think it was going to happen. And that's the thing is this is one of those vehicles that can really go against. It doesn't have the big top numbers of its predecessor, and that's really just because there's a little bit more going on with the Cayman that didn't really match up to the car aerodynamically. So there's some things that are going to kind of slow it down, but I don't think that's going to hurt it in any way, shape, or form when it comes to the handling side of it. That's the thing is the reason they did this was really because down the road they plan to go all electric with the Cayman. So it's something that they want to see done. Just, hey, why not throw it against the wall? Let's see what happens, right? This is probably their last opportunity. So this is one thing I want to read this here is a small drop in power was because of the exhaust pipes were the issue. So yeah, it really has a great little thing, and it's going to be loud. So it's going to be one of those really great vehicles that just it fits perfectly. So the transmission system is a 7-speed dual clutch. It's the RS standard. It has a lower final drive, so it's going to have a little bit more get and go. Suspension was stiffened, and the springs adaptive with a bilstring dampener, spherical ball joints, a lot of camber and toe adjustments. So I'm kind of reading some of the stuff off here because I want to make sure I get a lot of it right too. The Mission Pilot Sports 2Rs. Those are the perfect wheels. So how much is this? It's going to be $143,050 for the base, and then the Weissich package, which I hope I'm saying that right, is going to be $20,000 less. It's about $20,000 less total with than the GT3, with that being weighing in at 3,227 pounds. And it still has, and I love the door handles. It's got the pull strap door handles. So yeah, with the Weissich package, you want to make sure you get this right. Weissich gets the hood, the mirrors, the intake, the wing, the swan neck carbon fiber rear spoiler, the titanium exhaust tips, forged magnesium optional wheels, and 25% more downforce. So I think, and that's the thing is a lot of people were like, hey, is anybody gonna, spend basically $20,000 or something like that to get all the cool things in their car? And I think the answer to that is just a dedicated yes. If you're any kind of performance guy, and especially the Porsche guys are, you have to be. We've lived by our 50-50 weight distributions, our aerodynamics, everything about it. I mean, it's one of the reasons I bought my car and was such a fan of it in the beginning, was because a car that only had 220 horsepower was doing so well on the track and beating cars, much more sure-footed than it was. And that's something Porsche, I think, does really well. It has a car that doesn't have to make all the big power numbers. It just stands out among its peers and does well with what it has. So that's the thing is I think that was big. Now it gets better. I can't believe it. But not right after they announced this GT4 RS, they went right into it and didn't even let the counter cool before they threw the next plate on, and that was the Clubsport. And the Clubsport is obviously their racing version. If you've known anything with Porsche, obviously racing is a big deal for them, and they do very well at it. And that was something that we kind of expected to see, but didn't expect it that quick. But yeah, even more performance, even better look. There's a lot of qualities, but obviously something that is a track-bred car. Now, let me stipulate I know a lot of people that have taken their race cars and made them street legal. So this stuff is out there to obviously do it. Let's see what happens. I would be very excited to see a GT4 RS Clubsport street legal car. And I think it's totally doable. I mean, it already comes with the locking hub, so it has the single nut in the middle of the wheel there, so it makes it easy to take everything apart. I just like the idea of pulling up to like someplace and hitting the button and having the whole car come up and do it that way. I just think that would be awesome and amazing, and just it's such a and that's something I don't know. A lot of people have looked down on these cars, especially the Cayman, for being this underpowered thing, and now we have a car that it's not underpowered. It is ready to go, and it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes. And that's the thing that's unfortunate about it is now it gets all the love and just now it's going to be electric, so it's going to be that's the end of that. But yeah, that's the thing is I think they'll still, regardless of anything, making a well-balanced car and an awesome, cool Porsche. I think we're always going to get it, but I'm always going to. There's just something awesome about that old, you know what I mean? Just that GT3 motor in the mid-engined Porsche. I don't know. I'm gonna digress to it later when I'm off the show, but I hope you guys like it from that end. And the thing is, if it's a car that you'd want to own, or tell us how you'd like to feel about the Porsche, or especially the Cayman, in the comments, and let us know what you feel. I mean, everybody I've heard from loves them, but you know what I mean? I'm sure there's some guys out there that's saying, hey, you know what, my GT3 is better than anything else. And if it is, that's the thing is I'd love to see somebody put it on the track and test it out. So the next big thing was the Ferrari Daytona SP3. Now, what can we not say about this? Part of the Icona series from Ferrari. That's where they take their vehicles and they give like a futuristic vibe to an old system that they've done. So like the SP2s, the different things, that just race car street versions of their track bred race cars that were done in the 70s and stuff like that, mostly because of their Daytona wins and that. So we kind of went, where is this one going? It's a V12 sourced. It comes from the Competizione. It's got 828 horsepower. It's actually their most powerful Ferrari that they've had yet. And it RPMs at 9,500 RPMs, which is just crazy. 514 torque. But yeah, this is it doesn't do some of the new things. And one of the things I love about it is that it only has passive aerodynamics. So the aerodynamics in it use the body lines of the vehicle. Now, you guys that used like any of the F40s and F50s, that was something that was very cool about their cars, and the chimney setup. So they have a way of flowing air from the ground up through the vehicle to get the downforce down the car and pull the car to the road. So that's something that's really cool. And one thing, and this is something you guys out there that love, I guess, the Testarossa stuff. I'm a huge Testarossa fan. I'm a huge, love the V12 stuff. But yeah, it has kind of that cheese grater feel. And I think a lot of you guys, I think it was 348? The predecessor to the 355 had in the Testarossa, both had the sills. And it seemed to want to go to that sill route. I would like to have seen more of the sill application and more of that kind of 80s feel that I think Ferrari. I mean, if you're going to do an Icona series, I mean, it's something that's part of our history. Everybody got in the Ferraris in the 80s. That was kind of the big thing. People say it happened in the 60s and 70s, but let's be honest. The Miura got its first title of supercar back in the 70s. I know the word was used before that, but really people didn't attach to it. And we didn't get till really the 80s when people started getting a real, I think, love affair with what would be called an exotic car. And that was the time when, and I think it was more too that, we're seeing it on TV. We're seeing things like Cannonball Run. We were seeing, people that were publicly connoisseurs of automobiles, not just, I want to have a fast car. I want to have a fast car that's going to get me there in style. And that was something that was really introduced into these movie fields. And I think even if you are doing a dedication to kind of that Daytona stuff, I don't think people got too much into the topless kind of race car stuff. I think that's very unique, and that's for collectors and great. But the people out there in the street, or the people out there in the world, they want to have something they can drive. That's what made the 360s and the 430s and even the 355 such a great car, was because people could take these things out and they can drive them. And I understand this is a $2.25 million collector car, but the thing is that if you're going to build something like this, make it as good as the Enzo. We had tons of people that drove Enzos and Bugattis and put mileage on these cars. And even if it's a collector car, make it something that can go out there and challenge those guys, and have that kind of, like I said, if we're going to go back, have that 80s feel to it. But yeah, all in all, the Daytona SP3 is going to be an amazing car. It's just going to be... It's going to be part of kind of Ferrari's history going forward. And I do like the idea of car companies taking something that doesn't feel retro. That's something I think is totally overdone in the automotive world right now. The criticism of the Countach is a perfect example of, people taking something that's part of their history and saying, why are we doing this? And the thing is I don't feel that Ferrari's doing this the wrong way. I think they're doing it the right way. They're taking something that is making it new and not really saying this is that Daytona car. This becomes a car unto itself, and it brings something very special because it's something new. And if anybody remember the SP45, I think it was James Glickenhaus made one. I remember the beauty of saying this is how we should do it from here on in. And he's done a ton of great cars, and I think those are good examples. But that's the thing is Ferrari kind of took this model. They're very good. They made a lot of custom one-off race cars for their drivers back in the day, and they're just taking that same mentality, bringing it to the track. And And now it's here on the street, and we're seeing it in person, and I think people are getting very excited about it. And that's the thing is it's, all the buyers out there get jumpy. The problem is that you're probably it's going to be invite only. You're not going to be able to go out and say, hey, I want, throw me an SP3 and I got the 2.25 million. You're going to get an invite, and if you didn't get an invite, you're not getting a chance to it. So I hope you guys are paying attention. We're coming into the holiday season now, where everything's going to be going towards more of the Toys for Tots stuff. I'm hoping that we're going to have a little bit more cars. We did this show over at KD Design on Sunday, and I was amazed. We're here in almost finished November. It's right off the day of Thanksgiving, and filling up lots with amazing vehicles that are just incredible, coming out to support stuff like Toys for Tots. The 3 Toys for Tots I've talked to so far, and I'm sorry, not just Toys for Tots, because there's other agencies out there doing the same kind of stuff, and these charities are helping people with all sorts of different stuff. They're out there too, so I don't want to take away from any of those people. But that's the thing is here in the end of November, we're sitting out here doing car shows with tons of different great cars, and a lot of you guys haven't put your cars up for winter yet. And I know the cold is getting there; it's getting really close, but it's almost like, it takes 2 minutes to really warm your tires up. Just follow the cycling. I know it's all different for everybody, but for me, it's 30 miles per hour, 40 miles per hour. Get your traction up, and now you're driving no problem wherever you want to go. And it really isn't that cold. Even in the north, it's been exceptionally perfect for driving weather, and cars love cold air in them. That's just the reality. So, don't listen to me. You talk to your specific guy about, when should you be taking your vehicle out, and if you should be going to these events. But that's the thing is if you don't consider them, I think you're missing out on a good time. And a lot of us are out here doing this stuff. It's the thing is I think it's going to be something where we don't pack things up for the winter, especially in the north, and kind of take it from those guys down in like Miami and California, and they've got their stuff where it's 24/7 nonstop car shows, having fun, driving out, supporting charities, and being positive towards your community. And there's something with that I think can't be taken away. And when I go in and I see guys that are driving hot rods that are 60s, 50s, 60s, and low to the ground and everything, I think, we can definitely do this. We can go out and support it. So, but yeah, we have a lot of stuff that's changing for us now. We're going to go full swing with this channel. We're going to pick up some other people. I'm hoping that we're going to get some other people on board with us to do some other stuff that feature things like some of the stuff with watches and sunglasses, and I even want to do some cigars and wines and really talk about some stuff that hasn't been something that we've usually ran into around here because we don't have a lot of time. And that's the thing is I'm trying to escape burnout to get all the stuff that we get out. But regardless, it's something that we're having a lot of fun with. So I want to keep doing it. I want to keep focused on what we're doing, get the automotive news out there. If you have something where you have a new dealership, if you have a new business, if you have something that you're doing that nobody else has, we're looking for that kind of stuff, and we're basically trying to feature people. So that's the thing is it's something that you're looking to do. We'd like to have you on the show. We'd like to talk about, your car, your business, your whatever, your product, and basically get some stuff where we can sit around and, share some things over, some coffee, or share something over some wine. Whatever works, it's a new world out there, and I'm very excited about it. So I hope you guys tune in. I hope you like and subscribe. We got more stuff coming, as always. So thank you for tuning in. This has been the Automotive News Today. This is your host, Primo, and we will talk to you next time. Have a great day.